Had some technical difficulties toward the end of Domain 5. Continuing on Domain 5 toward the end of that with organizational systems and leadership, and then moving right into Domain 6, which is community leadership. So laws and policies and procedures and technology, Federal Children's Internet Protections Act, which is CIPA. Schools subject to CIPA have 2 additional certification requirements. Their internet safety policies must include monitoring the online activities of minors, which is kind of like GoGuardian is. Number 2, as required by the Protecting Children in the 21st Century Act, they must educate students about appropriate online behavior, including interacting with other individuals, same thing, on social networking websites and in chat rooms, and cyberbullying awareness and response. Laws, policies, and procedures, technology. Federal Children's Internet Protections Act, CIPA, continued. Schools and libraries subject to CIPA are required to adopt and implement an acceptable use internet safety policy addressing access by minors to inappropriate manner on the internet, the safety and security of minors when using electronic mail, chat rooms and other forms of direct electronic communications, unauthorized access including hacking and other unlawful online activities, unauthorized disclosure, use, and dissemination of personal information, measures restricting minors' access to materials harmful to them. Last but not least, laws and policies and procedures, technology, Federal Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA, in United States versus American Library Association, 2003, the Supreme Court upheld CIPA, ruling that it does not violate the First Amendment because libraries may disable the filters for adult patrons upon request. Okay. Constitutional rights and protections, important cases. Goss versus Lopez, Tinker versus Des Moines, Vernonia versus Acton, New Jersey versus TLO. Constitutional rights and protections, Goss versus Lopez. Goss versus Lopez was a 1975 United States Supreme Court case ruling that a public school must conduct a hearing before suspending a student. The court held that a suspension without a hearing violated the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Constitutional rights and protections, Tinker versus Des Moines. Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District was a 1965 U.S. Supreme Court decision that defined the constitutional rights of students in United States public schools. The court found that the First Amendment applied to public schools and that administrators would have to demonstrate constitutionally valid reasons for any specific regulation of speech in the classroom. Constitutional rights and protections, Vernonia versus Acton. Vernonia School District 47J versus Acton was a 1995 U.S. Supreme Court decision which upheld the random drug testing regimen implemented by the local public schools in Vernonia, Oregon, as constitutional. The Supreme Court held that although the tests were searches under the Fourth Amendment, they were reasonable in light of schools' interest in preventing teenage drug use. Constitutional rights and protections, New Jersey versus TLO. New Jersey versus TLO was a 1985 decision by the U.S. Supreme Court addressing the constitutionality of the search of public high school student for contraband, which occurred after she was caught smoking. The U.S. Supreme Court, in a 6-3 ruling, found that the search was reasonable under the Fourth Amendment. Okay, community leadership, Domain 6. Communication strategies, effective communication for school leaders. Communication is the lifeblood of teaching and learning. Communication strategies, effective communication for school leaders. Effective communication means listening well to others as well as sharing ideas, goals, and feedback. It is essential for success that everyone in a school system communicates well, including administrators, teachers, staff, parents, and students and community members. Communication strategies communicating with students. Learn students' names and ask about their goals and interests. Recognize students' accomplishments and positive attributes. Be friendly and approachable. Communicate at an appropriate level. Know when to communicate publicly and when to talk with a student one-on-one. Try to see things from each student's perspective and take their thoughts and concerns seriously. I have seen very effective means of communication with students amongst principals, and it really, really shows when the principal makes an effort to know their name. Communication strategies, communicating with parents. Send parents updates regularly about what is happening at the school. Provide ways for parents to get involved. Let them know how they can support the school's efforts with their child. Work to schedule parent meetings at a time when they can attend or find alternative arrangements for those who can't. Understand that parents may have diverse backgrounds and beliefs. Be respectful to work to collaborate with them. Make a genuine effort to address complaints and concerns. Be approachable and let parents know how they can reach you if they wish to communicate further outside of the regularly scheduled structured communications, like through text message. Communication strategies, communicating with teachers. Give genuine praise and give it often. If you need to address an area for improvement, be sure to also highlight what the teacher is doing well and provide specific, actionable, and realistic steps the teacher can take to improve in the area of concern. Encourage parents and students to share their positive feedback with teachers. Teachers have a difficult and tremendously important job, especially since COVID-19. Treat them with the respect and admiration they deserve. Make sure teachers know that you will support them in difficult situations with parents and students, and make the time to follow through on this commitment. Communication strategies, communicating with the community. Communicate in a way that is clear and easy to understand. Avoid educational jargon. Seek to understand the needs and opportunities the community presents and ask for community input about how the school can improve. Look for ways to partner with the community and encourage community involvement. Be prepared to share good news about the school's accomplishments as well as what it is doing to improve in areas of concern. Share both proactively. Formal and informal communication. Formal communication flows through specific channels and formats based on the structure and protocols of an organization. Informal communication is casual and may fulfill both business needs and social needs. Informal communication is less restrictive and usually used more often. Disseminating data and rationale for decisions. Proactive, clear communications. Okay. Effective school leaders utilize proactive, clear communication to disseminate data and rationale behind decisions. Unfortunately, rumors and gossip abound in most school environments. Unchecked, these can lead to disgruntled stakeholders. There's actually a picture, I'm going to share it with you right now, that says, "Don't be a blabbermouth." That's good. Okay, disseminating data and rationale for decisions. Proactive, clear communication. Successful administrators don't wait to refute rumors and assuage fears. They proactively communicate with stakeholders. This includes disseminating all types of data and explaining the reasons behind changes in policy and/or procedure. In addition, leaders must be seen as approachable, receptive, and willing to respond. If not, stakeholders will feel free to voice their questions and concerns and will instead rely incomplete will rely incomplete or faulty. Relay, I found another typo. They will instead relay incomplete or faulty information. So it must be that you really, really feel approachable, receptive, and willing to respond so that stakeholders don't run and jump to conclusions. A clear understanding of stakeholders' perceptions, needs, and concerns assists administrators in gaining their support and trust. Without this, rumors and gossip will have more powerful influence than anything coming directly from a school's administration. Proactive community engagement, the role of the principal. Schools should not be isolated islands within a community. The school principal's proactive engagement with the community can create invaluable connections that serve the community in the school. 5 ways a principal can be proactive in community engagement. Inviting the community to open house and other school events. Highlighting community events and achievements in school newsletters. Interacting with civic organizations. Attending community events that aren't school related. Using social media as a tool for authentic engagement. This is happening more and more, again, due to COVID. Family involvement, definition of key terms. In all official government education documents, unless otherwise stated, these key terms are defined as follows. Parent includes a legal guardian or other person standing in loco parentis. Parental involvement means the participation of parents in regular, two-way, and meaningful communication involving student academic, learning, and other school activities. Family involvement modes. According to Joyce Epstein, 2002, families may be involved in schools in 6 different ways. Number 1, parenting. Number 2, communicating. Number 3, volunteering. Number 4, learning at home. Number 5, decision making. Number 6, collaborating with the community. Family involvement modes. Parenting. Help families with parenting and adolescent development information. Families help schools understand the family. Family involvement modes. Communicating. Share information with families about school activities and student progress. Welcome and elicit family feedback. Family involvement modes. Volunteering. Welcome parents to the school for training as tutors and volunteers. Maybe not during COVID, but when we get back to normal. Invite them to serve as an audience for student work and performances. Family involvement modes. Learning at home. Support parent involvement in homework and other school activities. Family involvement modes. Decision making. Welcome families on school councils, PTA, and other committees as participants in school decision making. Family involvement modes. Collaborating with the community. Work with the community by coordinating services and resources to help students and families through involvement with agencies, businesses, and other service providers. Family involvement ESSA requirements. Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, requires schools to develop ways to get parents more involved in their children's education and improving schools. ESSA also requires that states and local school districts provide information to help parents make informed educational choices for their child. Family and community partnerships, rationale and benefits. When schools initiate partnerships with families and communities, student learning is enhanced and families and communities are strengthened. Community learning opportunities are often engaging and relevant to the real world. Family and community partnerships, benefits. Research indicates that family involvement in schools increases student achievement. Some key benefits include higher test scores and grades, better attendance, more completion of homework, more positive attitudes and behavior, higher graduation rates, greater enrollment in higher education. Family and community partnerships, ways to grow partnerships. Schools should work to ensure that families and communities understand the goals and standards their students are working toward and how they can help them progress. Schools can help enlist the support of families and communities by encouraging site visits. Again, maybe after COVID. Teaching parents how to help with homework and projects, offering parenting classes on Zoom and other programs, and providing translators and childcare during these events, and hold career days with community businesses. Assessing resources to support learning, leveraging community resources. Leveraging community resources and local partnerships broadens students' experiences and expands their access to local expertise. Examples of local resources include health and human services agencies, departments of public safety, parks and recreation, community colleges, businesses, community-based organizations. Okay. Mutually beneficial relationships, a new kind of partnership. Schools and communities can both strengthen one another through partnerships that offer students the opportunity to benefit from the community capacities, assets, and networks, while simultaneously supporting and enriching the community. Mutually beneficial relationship, a new kind of partnership. Communities are ultimately responsible for the education of their young people. Communities have many assets from which students can benefit, including individuals, associations, institutions, as well as the physical environment, local economy, and stories that make the community unique. At the same time, those students can aid the community through internships, special projects, and etc. Providing a quality education also has long-term benefits by creating the skilled workers and entrepreneurs and thought leaders that will make the community successful in the globally competitive environment of tomorrow. Mutually beneficial relationships, relationships between educational institutions. Another type of mutually beneficial relationship occurs between educational institutions. Mutually beneficial relationships, vertical teaming. One great way for elementary, middle school, and high schools to work together for the mutual benefit of their students is vertical teaming. Vertical teams are groups of teachers in different grade levels who collaborate to plan for and assess the same group of students. However, vertical teaming has both advantages and disadvantages that should be considered before implementation. Collaborating with community agencies, school community collaboration. When schools and community entities collaborate, they can form a powerful educative community. Entities that contribute to expanding a student's education can take a variety of forms. Collaborating with community agencies, characteristics of successful collaborations. In order for community collaborations to be successful, they should be driven by a shared vision, have a strong leadership, represent diverse groups effectively, and practice accountability. Conflicting organizational cultures, philosophies, and operating procedures can form barriers to effective collaboration. Integrating programs and services, guiding principles. There are several strategies for effectively integrating academic, health, and social services. Differentiate between areas in which the school can enhance its own capacity and areas in which it needs to bring in partners to work to do both. Evaluate what works and expand on those systems. Also look for ways that systems can complement each other. Focus on what actually produces results for your students and align services both horizontally and vertically. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Integrating programs and services, core capacities. Research by the Center of the Study of Social Policy identified 9 core capacities essential to develop and sustain successful integrated place-based initiatives to revitalize schools and communities. Number 1, shared results framework. Number 2, leadership. Number 3, strategic partnerships. Number 4, active engagement of community residents. Number 5, clear, accountable governance structure for joint decision making. Number 6, joint strategic planning. Number 7, shared data and analytic capacity. Number 8, management to outcomes. Number 9, allocation of financial resources to established priorities. And this is the end of our 6th domain, community leadership. Good luck on your test, and feel free to go through and listen to them all again. I know that I will be. Thanks. Bye-bye.